10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Even though we lived in a remote area, our house was just off the main road, and there was a convenience store just a few minutes away. Dark had finally settled in as I walked, and I found myself thinking about school. Being homeschooled had always been a burden. Regular schools were dangerous on a realistic level. One accidental spell and my secret would be out. And for another, with my vision problems, it would only get worse. Every time the two of us rented some high school movie about growing up on the wrong side of the tracks, John would look at me and nod, as if to say, "You wouldn't want that life anyway." I did, though. A normal school, a normal life. Our magic lessons were year-round events, 6 days a week, rain or shine. Homeschooled kids didn't have football games to go to, parties to attend. John didn't like people, so it wasn't like we were social around town. He kept to himself, but I wanted more than that. I liked talking to people. Hiding out in the middle of nowhere wasn't my idea of a life. Before I knew it, I'd arrived at the convenience store and stepped from the dirt path onto old, worn concrete. A giant, fluorescent chicken presided over the parking lot. I slipped inside, murmuring a thank you, as an older woman with sad eyes and blonde hair stepped out and held open the door. It was busy inside. A couple of older men hung around the register. A mother with 2 small children was fighting with them about candy, and 2 girls, all in black, had surrounded the coffee machines. I walked through the aisles, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, proceeding a shiver down my spine. Just an air vent, I tried to tell myself. Someone was staring at me. I could feel it. Most of the locals still saw me as the weird kid, or the disabled kid, the one who never took off his sunglasses, even inside. One of the fluorescent lights above me flickered, a heartbeat-like sound that buzzed in rhythm. There was murmuring from the next aisle, words I couldn't hear. I peered up over the top, but couldn't see anything. "You're being paranoid, Braden." Maybe I was, but I'd be a lot less paranoid once I had the milk and was back outside. I hurried down the aisle, and that's when it happened. I slipped, or I tripped. My legs went one way, and my body went another. My glasses were ripped off. I pitched forward, my elbow smacking against one of the metallic shelves, and I just barely caught myself before my nose slammed against the ground. The aisles rippled around me, and I realized too late that the visions were starting. Shapes and colors that shouldn't have existed slipped into my sight as the veil dropped and everything came into focus. There was a moment where they began to start, thrusting themselves forward with their stories and pictures, and then something changed. Black and white tiles were marred with spots of blood. My vision started to narrow, honing in on just those droplets until they were puddles, then lakes, and then oceans below me. The ocean turned to glass, then became a reflection of me staring down into it. That's where the images started. A normal vision is 1,000 conversations, 500 sonnets, 10,000 songs, and every sight and sound and color all flooding forward at once. What I was seeing now was different, new. It was like a slideshow. Flashes and shapes pulsed before and after each other in some sort of sequence. Uncle Jonathan, running as something slithered after him. A forest, a clock counting down. A woman standing on a rooftop over a sleeping city, her face completely shrouded with white lace. Things digging themselves out of the ground. Lightning. A sign. Welcome to Beldam. A voice transposed itself over the vision. I want the boy.